G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. Hope you're ready for another cocktail. Going to do one of a cocktail that's in my family of favourites, the New Orleans style cocktails. Because April 30th, when I'm putting this live, it's actually the anniversary of Louisiana being a state in the US. It's the conclusion of the Louisiana Purchase from the French, and so it became part of America, and that whole history of the French down south, New Orleans and whatnot, gave us just a range of great cocktails. One of my favorites is the Sazerac. I've done several variations of a Sazerac. For this video, I thought I'd do another well-known New Orleans cocktail, the Vieux Carré, which, again, someone who's a French speaker is probably going to say, you butchered that pronunciation, to which I'm saying, you speak French, who's listening to you? So I'm just going to go right ahead. There's a lot of these New Orleans cocktails, there's some variation of having like bourbon and cognac and vermouth, and then it's just what else is in there. And it's equal parts of those three in here with a few other elements in it. But let's get down to it now. Let's make a Vieux Carré. To start, I'm being slightly sacrilegious. I'm not going to use an American bourbon simply because I just got this bottle. This is an Australian whiskey liqueur, technically, because they've blended it with chocolate, with various chocolates. It's still 40% alcohol by volume. Ancient Wisdom, they're actually not that far from where I live. They're winery and distillery, but they're malted choc whiskey. Just when I heard there was a chocolate whiskey, I had to try it. And I just had this feeling it would work very well in a New Orleans style cocktail, which was another big motivator with me making this one now. I have had a brief taste of this, certainly is chocolatey, and I haven't had it in a cocktail yet, so I'm going to try it now. And as I said, equal parts of the key ingredients. So we're starting with 3/4 of an ounce, or about 22.5 mils of our whiskey of choice. Next up, we're going with some cognac. That's the whole French feel for this one. If you don't have a cognac, you could easily use another brandy in this. There's so much variety even among the cognacs and the different brandies. It's going to be its own drink, slightly different with whatever actual makes you put in. I've got this XO cognac I got recently that is quite nice. So we're going to add 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 mils of cognac. The last primary ingredient in this cocktail is the vermouth. You want a sweet vermouth, sweet red vermouth to go in. I'm using another Australian product, this one from Maideneye. Their sweet vermouth, this is particularly nice. Maideneye make great products. So once more, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 mils of sweet vermouth. There's a few more ingredients, but in lower quantities than those three primary ones. We're also putting in some benedictine liqueur, just 10 mils, 1/3 of an ounce of this rather tasty herbal liqueur is going in. The finishing touches is some bitters. First, some peychauds or another Creole style bitters. We're going to put 2 dashes of the peychaud's bitters, and we also want just 1 dash of aromatic bitters. I'm going with ye old favourite Angostura, but if you want to try another bitters, go for it. Just 1 dash of the aromatic bitters. Like most of the New Orleans style cocktails, this is a stirred cocktail. So some ice in our glass, stir away. I'm using Gaz Regan's finger. I won't judge you if you use a spoon for your stirring. Stir it, want it chill down, a little bit of dilution, because it's a very boozy drink. Just stir it for about 15-20 seconds. We strain that just using a Hawthorne strainer into a rocks glass with a big old chunk of ice in there. Didn't use any of my clear ice because I didn't think the drink would be that clear. Now I feel like I've made a blunder because it is quite clear. Beautiful red hue from the sweet vermouth. But now, the all-important tasting. It's just lovely, sort of light boozy smell of that, and I have a real weakness for these boozy cocktails, and the balance on this is great. Yeah, the whiskey, the cognac, the vermouth, and just the little herbal element from the benedictine, just the touch, and just sort of livened it up with the bitters as well. But yes, if you want a nice drink to sip, I know this type of thing is often regarded by people, this is like a winter drink. This is a sit down in the cold weather and sip. And I'm getting into the cooler weather here in Australia. Northern Hemisphere, of course, is getting warmer for a lot of people. I am not going to say no to a Vieux Carré any time of the year. This is, oh, it's just rich and smooth. It's very lightly sweet from the vermouth. Like, there's no sugar syrup in here, so it's not overly sweet. There's a beautiful balance of the components. There's a reason, like, this drink's been popular for about 100 years. There's a reason classics are classics. If you like the boozy drinks, this is one to have. And hey, like I said, the anniversary of Louisiana becoming a state in the US, that's as good an excuse as any. Honestly, not that I really need one for a drink like this. I'll have this anytime. But yeah, if you've never tried one, I very much recommend it. If boozy drinks, if you think they're a bit strong, I just recommend you put a lot of ice in your stirring glass and stir it for slightly longer. It will dilute a little. Or for that matter, you could just put 10 mils of chilled water in here. And that would still be a really enjoyable drink. So yeah, if you think you're not really into the boozy drinks, this is actually just incredibly easy to drink. And maybe dilute it a bit more if that's to your taste. And it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but honestly, I will have this before a cup of tea. This is great. So I hope this has inspired you to maybe celebrate that glorious history of the French Quarter down in New Orleans. So many good drinks came out of it. The Vieux Carré is just one of them, and I hope you give it a go, or just something else you'd like to drink, and let me know if there's something you'd like to see here on the channel. And hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you did. Hit the little notification bell, leave me a comment about what you'd like to see, because I would really love to see you back here again another day for another cocktail. There's never an end to cocktails. There are so many cocktails. We can just keep going on this journey, and I intend to. So in the meantime, until I see you again, take care. Take care of yourself, take care of people around you, and until I do see you again, cheers.